Hi, happy Sunday. Sorry to be a few minutes late, but better late than never. I hope your week has been a little less eventful than mine. We've had a lot going on. HRH, the baby Violet, now informs me on a daily basis that she is not a baby anymore. She's a big girl because she has started pre K. Literally kicking and screaming. I tried to upload that video into the app, and I don't think it went all the way through, so I'll try that again. But she wailed like a siren the whole 3 blocks to school. I don't want to go to school. It was epic, made an amazing impression on our very first day. So with that in mind, I hope your week was a little less dramatic and a little more quiet than Miss Violet allowed mine to be. But day 2 was better, mainly because her father was home from his overnight business trip and was able to walk her himself. And really, that's all she wants at the end of the day, is for daddy to be there and do the drop off. Evidently, I don't do it right and never will. That's okay. Happy Sunday. I'm glad you guys are here. We only have a couple questions tonight, but before we get to that, I want to say huge congratulations to our sponsored athlete, Cade, who got married on Friday, and I was fortunate enough to be there. Photos are on my personal Facebook page. We'll put some up on the fitness protection counts later, but it's been a little bit of a wild ride. Coach Nikki has been out for a couple days, just doing all the awesome stuff that she does. So we're a little behind on social media. I'm hoping to rectify that this week. If you are in the extra mile, Coach Janet has not been receiving the links via email every day anymore. And we're not quite sure why. I've called Zoom a couple times trying to figure it out. I still get the email, so I post it as soon as I wake up. But as you know, she is 2 hours ahead of me. So there is a delay there, and we're very, very sorry for that. And finally, Coach Amy is our other sponsored athlete, is going to be headed down to NASA, where she's going to be an astronaut trainer. And she's going down this weekend to look at apartments, and will be moving soon. So we wish her all kinds of luck, Coach Amy, on your trip. Now, coming to this, there are a couple of things. I'm going to put a link here before I forget, because if you are watching this, right, and you're a paid member of Fitness Protection, one of the things I tell you is that we give away the marathon ramps for free. The most popular one, Tenacious AF. The reason I like this one the best, it is literally the easiest to follow. And I just put the link up there. So I don't know if that went through on all the channels, but it should. There should be a link that comes up in the comment right here where you can download it. You need the code to do that. If you're a paid member and you need the ramp, do email me, mk@fitnessprotection.com, and I will send you the code to download the 10-week long run sandwich progression for free. But right now there's a link if you want to go get it. So otherwise, you can go to the Training Peaks coach page, and there you will see all of my published plans. I try to keep that fairly up to date, so the only things you can get there are the most recent maintains and rebuilds, as well as there's only one Tenacious AF plan there. So that's the one you want to download. So the thing that I like about this is it's only the long runs. You keep doing the same workouts as everybody else in Fitness Protection and Maintain is doing at any given point in time. And this way we're just increasing the long run sandwich, hopefully like you're really locking in the runs during the week. So when you download Maintain, you're going to download that first, and then you're going to delete the long runs, and then you're going to put in the 10-week marathon progression. So once you put that in, there going forward, you might, every time you load Maintain, you'll see that I don't expect you to do 4 long runs each weekend. Delete the shorter ones and only do the longer one when you're part of the marathon ramp. It sounds confusing. It's really not. You'll know which one not to do and needs to be deleted almost immediately when you upload the plan. So try and keep things as simple as possible. Marathons, again, at the end of the day, are just not fun if you're not trained to do it. I mean, you guys remember I backed out of the 2018 New York City Marathon because I was like, you know what? I'm not fit enough that I will enjoy this. I've run marathons very fit. I've run them not very fit. So is this different from the previous TAF? Nope. The previous TAF was on paper that we sent out. I still have that somewhere. But everybody, we had a lot of requests for it in Training Peaks. So the link gets you the Training Peaks version, but it's exactly the same thing that we had on if you have the piece of paper somewhere. And I believe that piece of paper can be found in the files tab in the Facebook group. Right now, we don't have a way to hold files in the app, so I apologize for that, but that's what that is. So I backed out of plenty of races that I wasn't quite prepared to race. Now, I am not saying that there is some standard that I hold to which I will force you. If you feel ready to race, do it. If you feel ready to train, do it. I will say, though, that it is not fun running a marathon undertrained, underprepared. So we can do a whole lot of stuff, get really, really fit and have a whole lot of fun without having to sign up for a race at all, or having to sign up for egregiously long runs. When I'm super fit, I love going for 4-hour long runs. Those were always my favorite. The favorite run was how strong I would feel throughout. And then at the end of a 3.5-hour long run, and I know this sounds crazy. Like, I miss being that fit. I'm not there now. The pandemic did a number on me. 2021 did a number on me. Long COVID did a number on me. A lot of health factors have done a number on my body. And as I work my way back, which I'll talk about in a minute, I am not trying to force myself back to marathon training status or marathon runner status. And I would advise y'all not to try to force yourselves faster than me. Remember, the reason I started Fitness Protection was because I was frustrated with the way the running industry tended to work. People only thought they needed a coach if they were doing something really hard or really long, so otherwise they would not. And so the only thing coaches ever offered were half marathon and full marathon training plans. We wanted to do something differently and just give you a monthly plan, keep you locked in. You can ramp it up whenever you want to race a marathon, but you don't have to be racing in order to participate. 1, 2, life gets in the way. If you get sick in the middle of a 20-week plan and you take 2 weeks off, you're going to be panicked. There's just no way to recover and pretend like those 2 weeks weren't gone. There's no making it up. That's just how it works. So by having only a 10-week ramp, by making that ramp as short as possible, we are making the stressful period as short as possible as well. I get that 20 weeks is a whole long time, but also it's like trying the nature of what people are selling versus what people are willing to buy. That's an odd place to be. So I'm like, let's just be here and do this together and race when we want to and take the pressure to race off. And the thing that I found ever since the pandemic, the vast majority of people who are here don't race at all. And I think that's a beautiful thing, which lets me know that I'm doing something right. Questions this week. Is there a generic marathon race plan like there is for the half? Yes, there is. It's called, the generic one is called, and I say generic lovingly because I like to think of it as 3 different flavors. So we had Steady AF, which is I would think of it as the advanced or the really hard marathon plan. And I don't think anyone's ever really used it. There have been a couple who started on it and they were like, you know what? I really don't want to do this. And I was like, good for you. Yay for good decisions. I wrote the plan, and at the time that I wrote it, I was a lot fitter than I am right now. But at the time I wrote the plan, I was like, I'm not fit enough to do this plan, just so you know. And I recently, at that time, had run like a 4:16 marathon or something. So, and I remember the look on people's faces like, oh, really? Wow. Oh, okay. And that's the thing, right? It's not like you have to be worthy of it, but it's like, why would you do excessively hard work if like there's only do it if like there's no other option, but doing it for the sake of doing it, life is really hard. There are all kinds of ways we can make it harder without having to add in hard workouts all the time. So yeah, we have Steady AF, Tenacious AF, which is this one in the middle, which I say is like, it's, it's not like the plan that makes the difference. It's how much stress you really want to put on yourself during the training period. And then we have the easiest plan, which is Dedicated AF, because that's what you've got to be to want to do a marathon in the first place. And that one we only have in paper form because then no sooner had we rolled it out when COVID hit, and then the world went sideways. So, the day of the race plan. Yes, I do have that. I will find it. I check in the files tab in the Facebook group of Maintain. If you're not in Maintain, go ahead and ask to be add yourself to the group, and I'll let you right in. And it should still be in the files tab there for easy download. But yeah, the day of, the same rules that I gave, if you have those from my previous employer, those are my rules, right? That's what I've always done. And that's what I told people at Lifetime beforehand. It's what I told people there, and it's what I tell people here. We've got conserve, reserve, preserve, and then serve. And I give the heart rate limits in each in that. So if you double check, if it is not in the files tab, let me know. But I have not removed it, so it should still theoretically be there. But that'll tell you how to execute according to heart rate. And the thing that I like about racing my heart rate is that if you think about it not as a target that you need to reach, but a cap to not exceed, it is a really great way not to waste all of your energy in the first hour of an event that could be taking you as many as 6. Marathons are long. So with that in mind, as we look to the fall, I know a lot of people have been talking about, if I'm not racing, I don't feel motivated. That's a thing, and that's fair. All I can really talk to is my mindset. And I've been working really hard on my fitness. It has been a horrifying, humbling process to have to rebuild myself after my 4th baby. And for that one, my first 3, I came right back. It wasn't a big deal. My body did not come right back after my fourth child. It was kind of busted. And then to go from that to a successful New York Marathon in 2019 to feeling busted again for reasons that were just beyond my control and my doctors couldn't really help with. That was a really humbling thing, but that's where I am right now. And I kind of stand by what I said. The most important thing you can do in rebuilding is to rebuild the habit, the pattern, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, which for me is all switched forward a day because of life. And I need to turn that off. I'm sorry. My phone's going off. Kids are at a birthday party, and I'm sure that the wheels are coming off the wagon and they're about to walk through the door. So there you go. But when it is such a humbling thing coming back, but by having the habit of getting out and doing something and finding the best time of the day to do it, the optimal time for me is first thing in the morning. But with all that's been going on with my body, I've not been able to get out of bed rip roaring at 5:15 the way that I have most of my life. I'm doing good to be awake at 6:30, and I'm actually really grateful to be awake and moving at 6:30 now, because compared to 8:30, which is what it was for the last 2 years, it was just really, my body was really just that tired and that worn out. It really was that hard. So with that in mind, first I got to walking, then we finally got, my doctor and I finally got a variety of things that work, especially the testosterone cream. I cannot say enough good things about it. If you're not on it, go get on testosterone cream. If you feel like you're a perimenopausal, menopausal, just push. I'm so glad I did. It's really been worth it. I am stronger than I was a week ago. I'm stronger than I was 3 weeks ago. I am night and day, different than what I was 3 months ago. I remember in April, I barely had the energy to climb the stairs. I looked pregnant. I was exhausted all the time. And now my body, the bloating in my body is gone. The swelling in my tissues is gone. I have strengthened my muscles and not my walking. I was in my walking habit. And one day my legs just wanted to move a little bit faster. And I'm like, I'm going to do a walk run tomorrow. And I did. And I took the day. And then I did a run walk every other day. And it felt so good that I said to myself this past week, I'm going to get on the Peloton. The only way I'm going to get faster, because here's the thing, I don't like doing hill workouts or the strength building workouts. You need a huge base of strength to be able to do those. Otherwise, you're just tearing up your knees. I've told everybody this. I'm like, I don't really like assigning hill repeats for that reason. You need a lot of glute strength. I need to know for sure that your glutes are strong enough that they're firing every time you run. Otherwise, I'm giving you a recipe for disaster, and I don't like those, because we can get faster and stronger without doing any of the track workouts or the hill repeats or any of that stuff. If anything, you could go do burpees up a hill, high knees up a hill. That's going to get you a whole lot more traction than trying to run really hard up a hill. That's just going to hurt your knees a whole lot. So I tell you that to tell you this, I'm practicing what I preach. I know that I want to get faster, or I want to get more efficient. And I know that's going to come from strength. And that is why my workouts now are migrating back to the Peloton. So my hard workouts are going to be on the bike, and in between I'm going to be running. And I've had a successful week of that. I feel stronger. I feel my muscles engaging when I stand up or sit down. When I can feel things burning when I get off the bike. I feel good in a way that I haven't in a really long time. So I am practicing what I preach, because remember, I preach what I practice. If you want to get back to where you were, the steps forward might not be the same ones that you took in the past, because again, these past 2 years have been a real doozy for a whole lot of us. And the general societal base of fitness went from kind of like here to here. And rather than feeling guilty or bad about that, understand that we're all in the same boat. It's not just you. Everybody took a hit. Okay. So it's not about any choices that you made or bad choices that you made. I've always thought that was BS to begin with. It's just about congratulations, you survived. And now the coming back process is going to look a little bit different. So starting from square one might be just being on rebuild, doing what you can jogging wise, but on a day when you don't feel like doing the jogging part, don't do it. That's valid. That's fine. The walking will turn into running. And at some point you'll wake up and be like a one little extra. And that's when you can jump in the extra mile and do a little extra if that's available to you. Or if you have Peloton that's available to you, jump on there and do a little extra. I'm happy to talk about that in more detail if you guys have questions about what it is I'm doing on the Peloton, but you can also see all my workouts on Strava. So there's that. This is the first week I felt really strong enough to do Pelotoning and running, and I can't wait to tell you all about it next week. I'm very excited. So that's that. Fall races, yeah, they're going to happen, but you know what? I say don't worry about it. Again, you're by no means behind. I've said from the beginning 2023 would be the first normal training year for a lot of us, global warming aside, and the wrenches that is it's throwing our way. But remembering that, again, if you're not racing this year, just set your sights on next year. If you aren't fit enough now to start a marathon program, I'm begging you not to try to challenge yourself with the spring race, because if this winter, with the weather changing, I would much rather you gave yourself more time, more grace. Training in the winter is really hard. It's dark. It is really hard to get up when it's dark. It's really hard to get up early in the dark. There are a lot of things that are working against you in the winter. So I'm afraid that any physical gains that we make will then start to take a toll on your mental health as your spring race date draws near. Again, there are lots of ways to go about this, but if you're like, well, I'm not ready for a fall race, I'll do a spring race, and you're specifically thinking a marathon, please talk to me about it. Get an office hours. Let's talk it out. You don't have to race to be a runner, and you don't have to race to be here. I'm certainly not racing. I have no idea when my next race is going. The soonest I will think about it is fall 2023, but I don't even have to do fall 2023 because I'm a runner either way. And I'm moving, and I'm happy about that. Yay! So now with the congratulations out of the way, I'm moving back in here. Karen Sutton, for some other weekly wins, has been doing rebuild following her Kilimanjaro summit and said that each week is feeling easier than the last. Congratulations, Karen. I love seeing your photos. Having been there myself, I'm so glad you got to have that experience. What a treasure. Trisha Thorne is excited to see her fitness returning. Yay, Trisha. She said during her recent run, she was able to lower her heart rate to below 140 without walking a couple of times. That is what I'm talking about. That's what we're looking for. That's something that happened in that when I was doing the run walks, or even when I was working out like 3 months ago, my heart rate would go up and I couldn't get it back down. And there's a point where it's like, that's just what my body does. People like to say that to me, and I'm like, no, it's not what your body does. What you're pushing your body somewhere it can't recover from. It's not a good thing. I am always tracking that, not the resting heart rate, but the rate of heart rate recovery in any athletes that I'm training one-on-one, because that's the true measure of fitness. Not how fast you run, not how many miles you squeeze out of an hour at 140, but truly, how quickly does your body recover when the work stops? It's a really important metric. And if you were going to follow something, I would beg you to be that one. So way to go, Trisha, for not only using the right metric, but feeling good about it. I know I felt really accomplished because the first time I got my heart rate recovered the way that I'm used to was last week. And I've been waiting, 2 years for that. And it was just like a yay moment in the park where I was so happy I almost started crying right there. So it's huge. I love this for you. I love you, Trisha. Congratulations. Okay, now the one and only question. I know you posted it before, but could you give us the tapering schedule for the week or two before a half marathon race? I have one coming up at the beginning of October, and I want to plan accordingly. Thank you. Again, double check me. I think it's in the files tab as well in the Facebook group in Maintain. I'm listing in real time since I just finished the Sioux Falls Marathon. State number 15, 7 hours. My race pace is 6:30. Yay! Congratulations. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Sioux Falls Marathon. What a badass. What about you're doing something I'm not ready to do, which is a marathon. And I'm jealous that you get to do it. Sioux Falls, y'all, is a pretty cool city. I know that there's a lot of complicated feelings out there about South Dakota, but at the end of the day, it's a really cool place to visit, and I highly recommend it if you get a chance to. But yeah, whoa is right. Congratulations. And state 15, only 35 more to go. Let us know when you do Hawaii. I want to be there too. Or Alaska. Really, Alaska is the one I want to do. So yeah, do check the files tab. I believe the marathon and half marathon tapers should be in there. If not, let me know and I'll go dig them out and pull them as quickly as possible. Worst comes to worst, I will put them in Training Peaks and give you something to download, or that so you can clear out your schedule and then stick that in there. Either way, I do apologize for that. Files tab in the Facebook group, let me know. So congratulations on Sioux Falls. That's amazing. Congratulations to Cade, to Mr. and Mrs. Schultz. How awesome is that, man and wife? I cried that. I cried like a baby. It was a really great day. But this is what it means to be coached and loved and winning at life. You guys are doing great. We're in this together. It doesn't matter if you're walking or you're running. It matters that you're showing up for you in some way and giving yourself credit for doing that rather than beating yourself up for what you haven't been doing, right? If this was my first normal August or my last abnormal August, then my first normal August will be next year, possibly. So that's a whole nother year for us to not be in a normal or expected place. So think about that. We got a whole year before anything resembling normal comes back. So with that in mind, don't be harder on yourself than I would be on you. It's just not going to do you any good because you're coached, you're loved, you're winning at life. And I don't know why. I know everybody has walked into my house and I don't know why it's so quiet. So I'm going to have to go check that out because that is really worrying. See you next week. And do let me know about what is or is not in the files tab in the maintain Facebook group.